All right, welcome everyone. It's the 63rd Town Hall on this August the 3rd. It's going to be a really brief one today because a lot of people are out on holiday. So just a few updates from around status for you today. First up, we've got on the People Ops side, next slide please. Theodore is joining us as a new recruiter. He'll be working on a 6-month agreement while Pepper is out on maternity leave. We're really excited to welcome him onto the team. Just a couple of quick hiring updates here. You can see we've closed 3 roles and we're really excited for those people to start. And then just a few others, mostly in the late stages. That's about it. Thank you.
All right, let me quickly give an update on the core mobile application where we're at. So last week, and thank you for everyone who joined, we had a roadmap planning workshop. So a little bit more on that in a bit. And other things that have been going on is like the usual efforts by the core mobile team, working crazy hours at times, but to implement notifications on iOS, mentions was paused for a bit, is being picked up, emojis, audio messages, thank you Enrico, referral program, Quo, loads of other fixes. So there's so much going on. It's a little hard to keep up, but most of these things will be coming out in the upcoming releases. Planned release, first up is 1.5, for which we're hoping to start testing of the final release cut today. It's always a bit of a gamble what we run into, and we definitely want to make sure that the quality is up to standards there before we push it out into the world. But hopefully we can start testing today. After that, we're releasing the referral program. More to come on that, especially from the marketing side in the coming weeks. But keep an eye out for that, as it'll be a great way to start inviting friends and family and others into the application. We will have a smaller release right after that, including some bug fixes and improvements that we know need to happen, but we don't want to delay bringing any features in the meantime. So we're planning on a smaller release after with some improvements. And then what the roadmap planning workshop was about, what happens after version 1.8 and beyond. Basically, what is in focus, judging by what came out of the roadmap planning workshop, is a better support for organizations and communities. We're definitely seeing a clear need and consensus that in order to help communities in the Ethereum space, outside of the Ethereum space, in using status, we can do a better job in supporting them in creating channels, moderating channels, and things like that. So that's definitely in focus. No specific definition of what kind of features that should bring, but it's where our attention is at, as well as providing local nicknames, as we definitely see there is still confusion around like who's who in this world of three-word pseudo-anonymous names. So we're looking to improve that. So what you can expect next is basically a definition of what does it look like if we want to better support organizations and communities. For anyone listening, working on any Ethereum project, especially, please shout and give us your input on what you think that should look like. What are you using currently on Telegram, on Discord, on Slack, that we could potentially also offer in status. That would be very valuable information for us to have. So working on product definition, then translating that to implementation specs. How can we actually develop that? And after that, the doing starts. And this process is basically due to the fact that we find the better we have defined what we're building, the faster we can deliver. So this is what we're aiming for in the coming weeks. More updates on that on the Discuss post, retention, focus, and roadmaps. That's where we've been iterating on the outcome of the workshop, and we'll post further updates as well. So that's it about core.
Awesome, thank you. And now we have security and infrastructure. Both updates are going to be given by Jakob. Over to you.
Hello. So security. We have some tools helping us with contract development, which is Critic.io and Mythics Pro, which are tools for analyzing contract code and also running it. So it's static and dynamic analysis and some other fancy stuff. So that should make it more secure when we make changes to those contracts. We have also 2 new articles by Rajiv on keycard security flow and privacy versus convenience. So you should check that out at our.status.im. And we're adding more people to our bounty program at HackerOne, so we can have more eyes on our code base and on our publicly available platforms. And that's most of it, really, for security. Let's see the infrastructure slide. Thank you. Infrastructure, there's a lot of work going on with metrics. There's been cases where metrics have gaps in them because Prometheus sometimes can lose data because it corrupts most recent data for no apparent reason. So I've deployed a Cassandra cluster, Apache Cassandra, and I'm going to be integrating that with Prometheus using Cortex probably this week. So that should make metrics more stable and more reliable in the future. And also some improvements to our cross-checks for mail servers that will reduce noise and will show less dummy peers in our retention metrics. So that should make it more accurate. I pretty much completed the upgrade of all of our hosts from Ubuntu 18 to 2004, except some Nimbus hosts because they have to have absolute uptime, so I'm not touching that. In cool news, we'll most probably have an F-Droid release, probably for 1.5, starting with 1.5. It's almost done. It builds. We just have to get some licensing and other issues out, but it's mostly there. I've cleaned up releases on GitHub, and I hope to essentially automate this, so all of the releases that come out on our main site and in Play stores and so on will also show up on GitHub in a proper way. We also had an overhaul of the main site using Tailwind CSS framework, and I essentially ported that framework to other services like Universal Links or Deep Links. Some improvements to IPFS outpinning for the starter packs that you can use in the app, and also general updates to documentation and Status.im website, and a lot of software upgrades in the past 2 weeks. That's it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks. Over to Johnny for a marketing update.
Great. Thanks, Gary. Next slide. So we kicked off the work in Latin America, and we've gotten a lot of press coverage, which is cool. So these are just some clippings from press in Argentina, working with the PR team down there. So we've gotten in a bunch of local media, Cointelegraph, Spanish channel, Spanish version, and a lot more to come. And on this, we're working on contracts with influencers now, and that should be done this week. So expect to see a lot of action in the Spanish channels, in the Portuguese channels, and just growing the community down there. So it's really exciting. Next slide. In the background, we're doing a bit of brand work. Alex is driving it, working with a really cool designer named Lily, who's done some work with the Ethereum Foundation and other crypto projects. And these are just some clippings from the work, just trying to come up with a bit more of a unified language as we start to increase our output. We just want to have a consistent look and feel across all of our work. And on that, we've also got a few articles that have kicked off a campaign, really pushing the privacy elements, the privacy aspects of Status, and moving into the pseudonymous platform that we're creating, just making sure that the Ethereum community and the larger community knows how private the tools we're building are. So that's working. We'll do a bit of report. We're going to do weekly reporting on social engagement metrics and just trying to find trends in how that impacts retention. So we'll be comparing our dashboards with the stuff that Andres created. So we'll post those and discuss later. We just need end of week reporting. Next slide. And then some upcoming work. So we are doing a lot of partner outreach and community outreach right now. I gotta say kudos to Dow King. He's been helping out a lot, introducing us to other projects, and he's kind of he's been great. And so there's a lot of, outreach and I guess BD, if you will, going on. And then also, as Hester mentioned, Hester and John they've been in touch with design communities. We've got meetings with Metacartel today just to learn a little bit more about what they want. So a lot of work in the background going on. Also, as Hester mentioned, the referral program that's our big project at the moment. There's going to be a lot of media and press coverage, and then once again, aligning partners for that. As mentioned before, so we've got influencer program rolling out, which is really exciting, finalizing contracts there. We're going to start primarily in Brazil and Argentina. So kudos to Ruby and Eduardo for managing that. And I have a feeling this is going to be good for that. And then there's some tactical product campaigns, things we're going to be working on once we get 1.6 out the door. Things like, a product hunt campaign, and then some A/B testing on our app listing just to make that flow a bit more seamless. And then lastly, we've got some new web pages that are being built right now. We're going to deploy those this week. And they're feature-specific landing pages that just go into a bit more detail about the core features of Status. And we're looking to templatize those so that we can then run custom ad campaigns driving to specific features, and we can start to test which feature messaging performs best and try to optimize the flow into Status. That's it.
Awesome. Good update. I love the brand stuff. Okay, now we're through to our Q&A section. We had a couple of questions this week that can't be answered because the person that would answer them is away. So apologies if that's you. We have parked it until the next town hall. We will get that answered for you, so no worries on that. Okay, to our first question. So when Status app desktop, so I've just linked the Alpha 3 release post there. And also I would just say, keep an eye on Disqus for further updates, but that's the latest that we have on that one, Ken. If you want to know something more specifically, just give us a shout and we can answer that for you. Okay, question 2. So Status could use a couple more features to give people a reason to come back. Chat isn't particularly compelling in itself. The wallet and dApps are cool, but probably not often used. Has there been any discussion about adding group collaboration features a la MS Teams, a decentralized and incentivized Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok? Over to you, Hester, I believe.
Yeah, I can answer that sort of. So as I mentioned, we're definitely looking into how to make Status more compelling for organizations and communities, and that's definitely focusing on how can we help people collaborate in whatever shape or form that might be interesting for them. That could also lean towards integrating wallet features for DAOs, for example, using your wallet to vote on features that are presented in chat. There are many different directions we can go into there. Would love to get more input on what you think could be interesting features for the community organizations that you are a part of, Cielo. We're in a phase of defining what this should look like, basically. So if you have any thoughts on that, please reach out, respond on the Disqus post on the roadmap, and we'll definitely follow up there.
Awesome. Thanks, Hester. All right, that concludes it. This was a very punchy 13-minute town hall holiday special. The next one will be the 17th of August, and we'll be back with Terry, our usual presenter. Huge thank you, Hester, Jakob, Johnny, all our presenters, and everyone else for tuning in, and those that asked questions. Thank you, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Ciao.